Good morning, I'm Mark McQuillan. British tourists are among those injured in an attack in the Israeli capital, Tel Aviv. Officials say a car was rammed into a crowd near a popular seaside park, killing one Italian man and injuring at least 7 others. The attack came hours after 2 British Israeli women were shot dead in the occupied West Bank. Alex Izat has the latest.
An overturned car, the aftermath of a deadly attack in Tel Aviv that left 1 Italian tourist dead and several injured, including 3 British citizens. Tourists had been enjoying the seaside boardwalk when a car hurtled along the pavement, ramming pedestrians before crashing out of control.
It later appeared that all patients have been tourists walking here on the boardwalk that sadly ran into a terror attack.
The driver, a 45-year-old Palestinian citizen, was shot and killed by police after he left the overturned car. The latest attack came hours after 2 British Israeli sisters were killed and their mother seriously injured when their car was shot up in occupied West Bank. Violence across the region began after Israeli police clashed with Palestinians inside the Al-Aqsa Mosque in the early hours of Wednesday, followed by an airstrike on Palestinian militant group Hamas, which Israeli military said was retaliation after the biggest rocket attack on their country launched from Lebanon for 17 years. 34 rockets fired into Israel, most of which were intercepted by the Iron Dome air defence system. Israeli police and army reservists have now been mobilised as part of efforts to counter terrorism. The UK Foreign Office is calling for all parties across the region to de-escalate tensions. Alex Izat, ITV News.
A 12-year-old boy is due to appear at Sheffield Youth Court later, charged with the murder of grandmother Marcia Grant. Mrs Grant was hit by a car on Wednesday and died at the scene. Her family have described the 60-year-old as a pillar of her community. The child cannot be named because of his age. Flowers have been left outside Mrs Grant's home. The manager of S Club 7 has paid tribute to band member Paul Catamol, describing him as a beacon of light for a generation of pop music fans. It follows his death at the age of 46. The group's founder Simon Fuller was deeply shocked and said the singer would be greatly missed. The band announced earlier this year they'd be reuniting for a tour to mark their 25th anniversary. US Vice President Kamala Harris has spoken out against moves by a federal judge to block a popular abortion pill. A judge in Texas ruled to suspend approval for the drug mifepristone, one of the country's most common methods of abortion, which was determined safe more than 2 decades ago. Ms Harris said restricting its access is a threat to women's rights and sets a dangerous precedent.
There is no question that the President and I are going to stand with the women of America and do everything we can to ensure that women have the ability to make decisions about their health care, their reproductive health care, in a manner that is what they need, and they decide that, not their government.
Nearly half of the guests at the King's coronation will be people involved in community projects. King Charles and Camilla, the Queen Consort, have sent 850 special invitations to volunteers and community workers who've gone the extra mile, especially during COVID. Sport, and Burnley have been promoted to the Premier League after beating Middlesbrough in the Championship last night. Connor Roberts scored the decisive goal in a 2-1 win. It means Vincent Kompany's side returned to the top flight at the first attempt following relegation last season. And the Masters golf tournament in the US has been disrupted by extreme weather and falling trees. 3 of them fell next to the 17th tee at Augusta shortly before play was suspended for a second time due to stormy conditions. No one was injured. The action is due to resume later, with American Brooks Koepka leading by 3 shots. I'll be back with our lunchtime news at 1:40. Until then, enjoy your morning. Goodbye.